Let's spend a little bookish day out together. Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing amazing. So for today's video, I thought that I would do a little vlog. It has been the longest time since I have last done a vlog. So because the weather is supposed to be absolutely gorgeous today, I thought I don't want to be stuck indoors. Why don't we head out? So I've been a little bit cheeky and I said to my husband, let's go to Sevenoaks. Now, the reason why I want to go to Sevenoaks is I have been there before and it was really lovely, but there is a little independent run bookstore, I believe. I think it won an award in like 2021, like best independent bookstore. And I want to check it out. Am I on the hunt for new books? No. But do I want to support independent bookstores? Yes. So I do have some thoughts on what I may potentially buy. Maybe The Correspondent by, I want to say, Virginia Evans. And also I've been after The Night in the Moth for the longest time. The sprayed edge edition by The Works. Never in any of my locals. Like I've literally hunted high and low. This is becoming a little bit of a trend with The Works. I can never find any of the big titles. And I know obviously it's like popular by demand and like on social media and whatnot, but then just stock more book, because the thing is, The Works, it's not like local to me. I do actually have to travel to my local Works. It's not just one down the road. So consider I'm in London as well. So yeah, The Works is doing my head in a little bit. So I might just long off The Works Night in the Moth sprayed edition and just maybe purchase it in the independent bookstore if it has it. So yeah, come along with us. I think afterwards we might head to Knole Park, we might see the town centre, and yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know what the day's going to hold for us, but I thought I would bring you along. So we have just got to Sevenoaks. It's actually such a lovely little town so far. We've just parked in Mews car park, I think. So the aim of the game today is to go into Sevenoaks Bookshop. I don't know how much I'm going to be vlogging right now because it's so busy, like it's very, very busy, and I don't think I've mastered kind of the vlogging outside. Also, I'm filming on the Sony ZV-E10. It's quite chunky, it's quite bulky. This is why I want the DJI Osmo Pocket one, because I just feel like it'd be so much like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like people wouldn't see it as much. We're also going to go for a little picnic in Knole Park afterwards as well. So we will show you more of that. But come with me to Sevenoaks Bookshop. So we've made it to Knole Park, and I have to say, this feels like a little bit of a hidden gem, and it's empty. Like hardly anyone is around. We've only seen a few people just walking along the paths. Other than that, it's literally like a ghost town. There's actually a little segment called Deer Park, and as you can imagine, there is deer running around this kind of area. And I'm really hoping that it was clear enough. We saw one in the wild. I was so happy. I was so ecstatic. I've actually got my contacts in, so I was able to see the deer, and it wasn't that far away. Like, I was getting a little bit nervous because obviously we have just finished our picnic. By the way, I'm not sure I'm a picnic girly. I don't know. I feel like it's not my lifestyle. I was just worried that there'd be ants and like insects going off the food, and I don't think this is my scene. But I can't actually believe we saw a deer in the wild, and I keep scanning because I just want to see another one. They're actually beautiful animals, but because it's Deer Park, as you can imagine, there is deer poop literally everywhere. We were walking around, I would say, for about 15 minutes trying to find somewhere that doesn't have poo on the grass. So that's why we're really close to a path. We're like under the tree for shade. We are in like a good spot, but we're basically against two paths, but that's absolutely fine. But there's just deer poop everywhere, but we're encroaching on their space as opposed to the other way around. So that's just something we've got to live with. I think this is also part of the National Trust. There is something down the other side of the park, like a National Trust house. I've not actually looked into it, but again, like if you're a National Trust member, you get like free parking, and I'm guessing you get discounts and whatnot. So again, something to bear in mind. But now, because we finished our food, we have got desserts. We've got some like sweets, chocolate, and I think I'm just going to sit here for a little while and read my book. It's so peaceful. I am currently reading, let me just get it. So I'm currently reading Just Friends by Pham. I was a bit nervous about this one just because it's had so much discourse, and I generally think that's because of the author and the fact that it's Pham writing it. Obviously, if you don't know, Pham is like a massive booktuber. I think she'd done like lifestyle beforehand, but now she does predominantly book content. I don't know why people have got such a problem with it as well. Like this book so far, is it perfect? No. Like this won't be a 5-star read for me. Is it as bad as what I've heard with some of the reviews? No, absolutely not. Like I do think people are hating on the book because of the author, and personally, I just don't think that's fair at all. So it is a contemporary romance. It does compare itself to Emily Henry. I can see the vibe, but it's definitely not the same. Like Emily Henry she's top tier, and I'm not saying that Pham isn't, but I have noticed a few little niggles in, shall we say, the writing. The writing is very flowery, very descriptive, and sometimes I feel like it doesn't flow correctly. I don't know, like at the beginning of the book was like there were so many descriptions, and it was quite whimsical in the descriptions and how things were being described. Now I've got to the middle of the book, that's nowhere really to be seen. Like this flowery descriptive writing has really taken a notch down. I feel like the type of writing just isn't consistent throughout the whole book yet, but that doesn't mean it's a bad book. The actual storyline I'm really enjoying. So it's a friends to lovers, a second chance romance, I'm assuming. There's very heavy topics in here. We are discussing grief and loss, and personally that's all the things I love in a book. I love a contemporary romance that, you know, makes you tear up a little bit or like has a little bit of sadness in there. So far so good. At the moment I'd rate it about a 4-star, which decent. So I'm gonna sit here, read my book for a little bit, maybe read a chapter or two, and I reckon Connor is gonna play some chess. He has got his book, but we'll see if he reads any. So the book he bought was Best of Both Worlds by Kenneth Oppel. I do think this might be a YA, but my husband isn't like a big reader. So anything that he reads, I'm just happy that he's actually got a book rather than, say, his phone or doom scrolling. So we might just sit here, read our books, have a bit of chill time, and yeah, just enjoy the peace. And if I see any more deers, I'll absolutely be filming it for you. Oh, actually, before I head off and read my book, Sevenoaks Bookshop. That was such a cute little quaint shop. It also had a little cafe in there as well. We were gonna get a coffee, but all the tables were filled up. So unfortunately, we wasn't able to do that. But I did get 3 books in the bookshop because independent bookstore and I want to support them. So I did manage to get 3. I completely forgot I'm after getting Glow of the Everflame because I've just finished Spark of the Everflame. So I should have looked for that. I'm pretty sure they would have had that there, but it completely slipped my mind. So when I get back home, I'll be sure to show you the books that I bought. I was also this close to buying Fairytale in the works, but I just thought I was just being a little bit sensible. I was like, I'm going to go to the Sevenoaks Bookshop first because I want to support independent and go from there. But by the time I go back to the works, it's going to be shut. So I didn't get Fairytale. It was only £5, but am I going to get to it anytime soon? No. So let's be sensible and save that £5. To be fair, that £5 paid for the parking. So, you know, peaks and troughs. Give you a little synopsis of what Just Friends is about. So, as I mentioned before, this is a friends to lover, second chance romance, and we've got Blair. Now, Blair has to go back to her childhood home of Seabrook, and the reason being is because something personal is going on in her life, which basically takes precedent. And I'm not going to say what that is because it doesn't mention on the back, and I don't want to give you any spoilers whatsoever. So, something very important is bringing her back to Seabrook. But while she's there, she decides that she obviously needs to apply for a job because she needs some income, she wants to support her mum, blah, blah, blah. So she decides to apply to the local coffee shop. Now, who is the owner of the local coffee shop? Only her childhood sweetheart, Declan. So this is actually a dual timeline. We're obviously in the present timeline and we're also jumping back into the past, I would say between about 6 to 4 years. It's not kind of a set timeline in the past, but it's basically when Blair was in college and kind of showing her blossoming relationship with Declan and, you know, how that pans. I'm currently just under halfway at the moment. And like I say, I am actually really enjoying it. There is a few things niggling at me, and sorry if this shot is wonky because I've just popped you on our call bag and I can see you going ever so slightly, so I will try and edit that out in the editing software. But one thing I will say about this book is, now I did mention the writing before, while I do enjoy the writing, I sometimes get the feeling, I don't know if this is supposed to be YA, I don't believe this is supposed to be YA. Sometimes I feel like it comes across as a little bit YA. Now what is really weird is that the present timeline feels more YA than the past timeline, and I do agree that like some of the words that are being used maybe in the past timeline does seem a little bit too mature, but maybe that's just me coming from my background and what my experience was, but it just feels like present timeline is quite young and the past timeline is quite like gives an older feel, which is quite strange. But what I will say is, I believe there's also a mention of H2O, Just Add Water. You know that Nickelodeon show that was absolutely banging in Australia? That I can give brownie points to because that actually made me smile. But yeah, there's just, I am really enjoying, I'm enjoying this storyline, but I do agree that there is something not quite gelling in the writing, but it's definitely not as bad as what I've heard other people say. Like genuinely, this is Hayley Pham's debut novel. If she was to keep bringing out books and books and books, I think her writing would be absolutely like stunning. I genuinely feel like she could blossom into like one of my favourite authors in terms of her writing style, because I love that flowery writing. I love how descriptive it is. I just feel like there is a component missing that's making it gel altogether. But the storyline so far, so good. Like I genuinely don't have any qualms about it. Like I can't say a bad thing really about the actual storyline, but I feel like there is 100% going to be a miscommunication trope in this book. That is what I'm worried about, because I'm just getting a feeling with how it's written. I think we're going to get a miscommunication trope, and that for me does annoy me. It does annoy me a little bit, because I just think have that conversation. Like if this was real life, you would just have the conversation, you would hash it out, and you would just get on with your life, you know? And I feel like it's going to be in this book. But I'm going to carry on reading now and hopefully get a few chapters in. I'm now back home, and you would have seen the incredible footage that I've just got of a herd of deers. I honestly cannot believe that we stumbled across them. They were so beautiful, so majestic. And the fact that it was a herd of deers, honestly, my day was made. So before I round up this vlog, I need to show you the books that I bought in our little independent bookstore today at Sevenoaks Bookshop. Now, as I said, I bought 3 books. I think at the beginning of this vlog, I said, if I'm going to buy any book, I'm going to buy The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. I did see that. I did see The Correspondent in the shop. You know what put me off? The little fake sticker saying it was the winner of the Women's Fiction Prize. I really hate it when book covers do that. Yes, I know they're trying to market it because it was a bestseller and a winner of the Women's Fiction, which, by the way, I actually watched What Michaela Reads, and she went into a whole deep dive of Bookish awards, and what I found out about the Women's Fiction Prize, it's actually made me question buying books that have won that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I just don't like the method in the way that they win the books. And it's not the author's fault. I guess it's the publisher, and I don't know. It's definitely not the author's fault. But anyway, I saw that big awful green sticker and I was like, no, not today. I'm not buying that. I guess I'm not going to be able to find a copy that is new without that sticker on, am I? I'm going to have to try and look like secondhand. But we shall see, unless maybe the hardcover doesn't have that green sticker. Oh, I don't know. I'm digressing now. But let's crack on with the 3 books that I did buy. Also, let's just appreciate the little carrier bag that they give me. So the first book that caught my eye was House of Monstrous Women by Daphne Fama. Now, first of all, let's just look at that cover. It's stunning. I am trying to get more into the horror genre, so this immediately piqued my interest. And then I read the blurb and I was like, I think this has to come home with me. So let me read you the blurb. It's set in Carigara, 1986, and it says, Josephine Del Rosario is the town pariah, left destitute after her parents were assassinated and destined to marry a man twice her age. So when Haraya Ronoco, an old friend, offers Josephine an escape, she can't say no. All she needs to do is spend one night in the Ronoco house and play a children's game of hide and seek. If she wins, she can have anything she wants, even perhaps Haraya's heart. But the manor is sprawling and nightmarish, crawling with insects and rotting from the inside out. The servants stand silently in corners and won't meet her eye. Worst of all, the house itself seems to want to trap Josephine. She must stay hidden until morning, but can she make it through the night? This just sounds so incredible. It's essentially just a horror hide and seek game. Yes, please. This was giving me major vibes of Mexican Gothic. I mean, I know it's not going to be the same, but like instantly reading that blurb, my mind went to Mexican Gothic, which I really enjoyed. So I'm so happy that I picked this one up, and I think I'm going to have to read this in October. Ain't I? I'm going to try anyway. I need to put that on my TBR. Well, monthly TBR. Following on, I think I may have made a boo-boo. Just a little bit. So I got The Moon Glow Bookshop by Dongwon Seo. But this is giving the exact same cover, the exact same vibes of Dalagat Dream Department Store, which I rated 5-star. I read that last year. I love that so much. Like, honestly, if you've not read Dalagat Dream Department Store, please do. It's such a magical, uplifting, eye-opening read. It's incredible. But it looks like this. So I stupidly didn't do any research while I was in the bookshop because I was just there, you know. I was just living time in the bookshop. I didn't want to be on my phone, if you know what I mean. So I just picked this up thinking perhaps this is a sequel to Dalagat Dream Department Store, which actually, now thinking about that now, there is a sequel, and I know it isn't titled this. I'm pretty sure there's been a sequel, but I saw the cover and I instantly just put them together. Let me get you the Dream Department Store cover. So this is Dalagat Dream Department Store, and this is the Moonglow Bookshop. I think you can see why I got a little bit confused. Regardless, Dalagat was a 5-star read for me, so I'm not going to go into this with low expectations at all. I feel like I wanted to read more Korean translated books because After that one, I absolutely loved it. I assume this might be quite similar to Delegate Dream Department Store. You know, there's obviously bookshop, it's got magical powers, etc. So I am going to go in with, you know, quite high expectations, just because sometimes we all need those thoughtful reads, and this, I feel like this is going to tick that box. So that was the second book that I bought. And then the third and final book is The Someday Garden by Ashely Poston. And it is a sprayed edge edition. That is just so gorgeous. It's such a pretty sprayed edge. I recently read Sounds Like Love by Ashely Poston, and I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed her writing, I enjoyed the storytelling. I feel like it was like a contemporary romance. There was a bit more grit into the romance, you know, it's not just fluffy, and I just find fluffy romances, and me, we don't really connect that well, but contemporary romances ticks all my boxes. The lighting isn't the greatest in this room at the moment because it is like 8:30 at night, but it's such a stunning shade of orange as well, so I'm so excited to put that on my bookshelf. And quite frankly, I'm just excited to read another Ashely Poston book, because you know what, I just love the way she includes magical realism in all of her books, so I'm excited to see how it plays in this one. And they are the 3 books that I've bought today. And that is a wrap on today's vlog. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had such a fun day. It was so nice just being out and about, like sitting with nature. That sounds so silly, and seeing the deer, highlight of my day for sure. But if you did enjoy this video, it would mean so much to me if you could like and subscribe. I would love to have you. Have you read any of the books that I picked up today? Would you recommend them? If you have, are they on your radar? Please drop me a little comment, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye.